Iran is on the threshold of becoming a nuclear state. The Wall Street Journal reported that Iranian military leaders gave the green light for Hamas's attack on Israel. You said in last month's debate that, by contrast to the Biden administration's approach to Iran, you would, quote, punch them once and punch them hard. Were you saying that it's time to bomb Iran?
No, I was not saying it's time to bomb Iran, but I will tell you, I dealt with Iran every day when I was at the United Nations, and they only respond to strength. What they don't respond to is when you weaken the sanctions like they did on Iran that allowed China to send them billions to fill their proxies. What they don't respond to is when you give $6 billion for 5 hostages. That only makes them want more hostages. What they don't respond to is when they do 140 strikes on our men and women in Syria and Iraq, and we do nothing but just some small shots back. You've got to punch them hard, and let them know that. That's the only way they're going to respond. So the way you do that is you go after their infrastructure in Syria and Iraq where they're hitting our soldiers. That's what you do, and then that's when they'll back off. The problem is you have to see that all of these are related. If you look at the fact Russia was losing that war with Ukraine, Putin had hit rock bottom. They had raised the draft age to 65. He was getting drones and missiles, drones from Iran, missiles from North Korea. And so what happened? When he hit rock bottom, all of a sudden, his other friend, Iran, Hamas goes and invades Israel and butchers those people on Putin's birthday. There is no one happier right now than Putin because all of the attention America had on Ukraine suddenly went to Israel. And that's what they were hoping is going to happen. We need to make sure that we have full clarity that there is a reason, again, that Taiwanese want to help Ukrainians because they know if Ukraine wins, China won't invade Taiwan. There's a reason the Ukrainians want to help Israelis because they know that if Iran wins, Russia wins. These are all connected. But what wins all of that is a strong America, not a weak America. And that's what Joe Biden's given us.
Stop it there and welcome to Nikki Reacts Reviews. We're reacting to things on the internet. I promised you guys that I would return to this. I think this was the last primary debate, conservative debate, I think, and I had reacted to the best of Vivek all day, every day, and I said I would come back and actually react to the rest of it and see what the other candidates had to say. I think Christie dropped out, but we'll still react to him. I did react to this already, but I don't know what I did with the footage. I don't know if I accidentally deleted it or thought I was recording and I wasn't, but it's gone, so I came back to react to it again. Anywho, I agree with what Nikki Haley said. I still don't like what she said, finish them when it came to what's happening currently in the Middle East. However, I agree with what she said, that you do have to fight back with strength. She said Russia hired the recruiting age or the drafting age to 65. Can you imagine being drafted at 65? But yeah, I understood her point of fighting back with strength. But anyway, let's continue.
You know, his reasonable peace deal in Ukraine, he made it clear. Give them all the land they've already stolen, promise Putin you'll never put Ukraine in Russia, and then trust Putin not to have a relationship with China. Let me tell you something. That's no reasonable.
Not my deal. That's not my deal.
Yes, it's exactly what you said. You do this at every debate. You say, no, don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. Okay? You say this. You do this. You do this at every debate. You go out on the stump and you say something. All of us see it on video. We confront you out on the debate stage. You say you didn't say it, and then you back away. And I want to say one. No, I just say this. You know, this is the kind of thing where he talks about experience. You know, I was the U.S. attorney in New Jersey when the terrorist attacks were launched against the United States in 2001. I know about the threat of terrorism and bullying in this country and around the world. And at that time, he was learning about the provinces in Ukraine, sitting with his smart-ass mouth at Harvard. All he knows how to do is insult good people who have committed their lives to public service and not say anything that moves the ball down the field.
Stop it in there. If you don't know what that inside joke was, the Ukraine thing, because Vivek kept saying how Nikki Haley and Christie couldn't name 3 provinces or regions in Ukraine or Russia, but they want to send your sons to die over there, which is kind of a hyperbolic, emotional way of saying something. It's kind of like when the pro-Palestinians say that anybody who's pro-Israel is pro-dead babies or something like that. You know, you throw those really emotional sort of phrases out there as a gotcha, kind of. But so that was why he was like, I was actually being a politician. I was actually being a civil servant while you was trying to learn the provinces of Ukraine and Russia. And a lot of people have been on Vivek about that, like, where did you come from? You have no political experience. We've lived our lives being civil servants and we've dedicated and sacrificed. What have you done? My question is, if you are a career politician, that's not necessarily a good thing. It could be a good thing if you have experience. I think lack of experience is what hurt Donald Trump. But if you're a career politician and you have done nothing, or you made things worse, or you've just been bought off, or you've sat on your ass, I still don't want to vote for you. So I don't think the career politician argument or the lifelong civil servant argument is good good unless you have a good track record. But anyway, let's continue.
Donald Trump would be older on day one of his second presidency than Joe Biden was on day one of his first. You have said Trump is not the same man he was when he ran in 2016. Your campaign is running ads showing Trump confused. And you have said he has, quote, lost the zip on his fastball. You seem to be saying Donald Trump is no longer mentally fit to be president. Is that what you think?
Look, he is showing father time is undefeated. The idea that we're going to put someone up there that's almost 80 and there's going to be no effects from that, we all know that that's not true. And so we have an opportunity to do a next generation of leaders and really be able to move this country forward. We also need a president that can serve 2 terms. I don't think Donald Trump, I think he's going to have, I don't think he'd be able to get elected. The media is making a big deal about what he said about some of these comments. I would just remind people, that is not how he governed. He didn't even fire Dr. Fauci. He didn't fire Christopher Wray. He didn't clean up the swamp. He said he was going to drain it. He did not drain it. He said he was going to build the wall and have Mexico pay for it. We don't have the wall. He did say in 2016 he'd have the largest deportation program in history. He deported less than Barack Obama did when Barack Obama was president. So some of these policies he ran on in 2016, I was cheering him on then, but he didn't deliver it. Here's what I can promise people. 100% of the things I promised as governor, I delivered on those promises. I beat the left time and time again, and that's what I'll do for you as president. We got to start winning again as a party. Yes, win the election, but we've got to start getting these issues. I will go in and wreak havoc on this bureaucracy. You will see people fired, and we are going to bring a reckoning for how this government handled COVID-19.
Ron DeSantis has had a lot of good points. Everything he said about Trump is true. Now, you can say it's not all Trump's fault, but all of that stuff happened, or the lack thereof, happened under Trump's watch. So, like, he has a really good point. Also, Trump can't serve 2 terms. Also, Trump might not be able to run at all. Trump will be 80 when he gets into office. Will he be okay? Like, he might be okay now. I haven't seen any videos of Trump, like, looking like he has dementia or anything like that. But he's 80. Who's to say he won't feel that way in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? So that is all those things he said you have to take to account. You can't just be blindly supporting Trump and MAGA just because of your own allegiance. That makes you just as stupid as all the people you say the left is, or all the other people that you make fun of who aren't critical thinkers. I'm not saying that all of the things he said should stop you from voting for Trump, but you do have to take those things into consideration and not just be like, oh, let's just sweep that shit under the rug. So I think he had a lot of good points. I'm not really sure why Ron DeSantis stopped getting so much love, like, I don't know. But I also think Ron DeSantis has a good track record as well. So, yeah, I agree with him. Let's continue.
So you do think he's
big
fit?
Result. We should not nominate somebody who's almost 80 years old.
Okay. He's afraid to answer. I'm a simple guy. Okay, I hear the question and I answer it. Is he fit or isn't he? And this is the problem with my 3 colleagues. They're afraid to offend. Donald Trump. What are you going to do when you sit across from President Xi, you sit across from the Ayatollah, you sit across from Putin? You have to be willing to offend with the truth and answer the question. Fit or unfit?
Okay, listen. I promised Ron DeSantis a minute and not a full minute.
Okay, so he said they're afraid to offend Donald Trump. I don't think they're afraid to offend Donald Trump. Well, maybe they are, but they might be more afraid to offend Donald Trump's base because they're trying to get some of that sweet, sweet MAGA. But then he said, like, you have to be, you can't be afraid to offend because you're going to be sitting across powerful leaders who might be offending you. And I mean, Vivek has been offending everybody left, right, and center, so I don't think that's Vivek. I also think Ron DeSantis didn't answer the question. He just answered it in a political roundabout way, but he answered the question. But anyway, let's continue.
It's not about offending.
And then we're moving
it's
on.
about pointing out, do you want to elect somebody who will be older than Biden was when he went in 2021? I don't think he's as bad as Biden was at all, but I do think that over a 4-year period, it is not a job for somebody that's pushing 80. We need somebody that's younger. We need somebody that's going to be able to go in there and clean house on day one and do it for 2 terms.
You do not favor a ban on trans medical treatments for minors. The surgeries done on minors involve cutting off body parts at a time when these kids cannot even legally smoke a cigarette. Kids who go from puberty blockers to cross-sex hormones are at a much greater likelihood of winding up sterile. How is it that you think a parent should be able to okay these surgeries, never mind the sterilization of a child? And aren't you way too out of step on this issue to be the Republican nominee?
Because Republicans believe in less government, not more. But Megan, I trust parents. And we're out there saying that we should empower parents in education. We should empower parents to make more decisions about where their kids go to school. I agree. We should empower parents to be teaching the values that they believe in their homes without the government telling them what those values should be. And yet we want to take other parental rights away. I'm sorry. As a father of 4, I believe there is no one who loves my children more than me. There's no one who loves my children more than my wife. There's no one who cares more about their success and health in life than we do. Not some government bureaucrat, not some. You look at these jokers down in Congress. It takes them 3 weeks to pick a speaker. And up until 2 days ago, they couldn't promote somebody in the military in the United States Senate who earned their new rank. And we're going to put my children's health and my decisions in their hands for them to make those decisions, for Joe Biden to make those decisions. For me and for my wife, let me just say this. This is not something I favor. I think it's a very, very dangerous thing to do. But that's my opinion as a parent, Megyn. And I get to make the decisions about my children, not anybody else. And every parent out there who's watching tonight, you start to turn over just a little bit of this authority, the authority they're going to take from you next, you're not going to like. I'll stand up for parents each and every time.
I have a follow-up question for him.
Ooh, you see that little eye contact he did? Try to scare the fuck out of you. Like, if you let the government stop you from mutilating your children's bodies, they're gonna really take over. Anyway, we have laws that protect children from being abused. That's it. It really is that simple. We have laws that protect children to be abused. And a matter of fact, the child protective services and social workers, social services, whatever, I know they're like overworked and overran and underpaid and underfunded. However, they do actually really a terrible job protecting children from abuse and neglect all the time. As a child of a survivor of severe abuse and severe neglect, and I'm not the only sibling of this who has been completely ignored by social services and by child protective services, I can tell you they do a really shitty job at it already. And of a child of abuse survivor, by the hands of my mother, I can tell you not all parents are that great, and the data and the facts and the numbers show you that, where hundreds of thousands of children are reported every single year in the United States alone as being abused and neglected. And we mean actual abuse and neglect, not mispronouncing your spoiled teenage child. So yeah, most parents love their kids more than the government would ever know how to love their kids. However, that's not all parents. A lot of parents don't have the know-how, the knowledge, or the ability to love or take care of their child the way they should, and a lot of parents neglect and abuse their children every single fucking day. And we are supposed to have laws and policies to protect those children from abuse. It's really that freaking simple. Allowing your child at a very young age, again, when they don't have the capacity to do anything else an adult can do, sign contracts, go to war, vote, drive, get a license, consent, many plethora of other things that children cannot do, but they can make the decision to fast track their lives to getting sterilized, getting their body parts removed, to making irreversible damage to their bodies, their futures, their minds. That's abuse. It's really that simple. It's not that complicated. So I understand what Chris Christie is saying, that we need to have smaller government, and I agree. I think both the Democrats and the conservatives like to act as if the government shouldn't have a part to play in our lives until it suits them, suits their sensibilities. Then they want the government to overreach and take your choices away from you. But we're supposed to have laws to protect children. So I completely disagree with Chris Christie. I think he completely missed the ball on that. And if you're going to run on that policy, you're running the wrong party, sir. You're running the wrong party. You need to be far on the left to run with that mentality. But anyway, let's continue.
And you guys are going to get to weigh in, okay? Here's my follow-up question. You talk about parental rights. Let's talk about them. When you were governor in 2017, you signed a law that required new guidelines for schools dealing with transgender students. Those guidelines required schools to accept a child's preferred gender identity, even if the minor's parents objected.
Not true.
And if their son or daughter changes their gender identity, allowing this serious issue to remain a secret between the school and a child. How is any of that pro-parental rights?
By the way, that's simply not true.
You're doing what you accuse me of, Chris. It's absolutely true.
That's simply not true. 18 and regulated in 2018 after I was out of office, Megyn. No, we did not, Megyn. We did not issue those guidelines, and you're wrong about that. By the way, you know what? Every once in a while, parents are going to make decisions that we disagree with. But the minute you start to take those rights away from parents, you don't know that slippery slope, what rights are going to be taken away next.
You do not have the right to abuse your kids. This is cutting off their genitals. This is mutilating these minors. These are irreversible procedures, and this is something that other countries in Europe, like Sweden, once they started doing it, they saw it did incalculable damage. They've shut it down. I signed legislation in Florida banning the mutilation of minors because it is wrong. And I know Chris disagrees with me, and I think he has an honest position. Nikki disagrees with me. She opposes the bill that we did to ban that. She said law shouldn't get involved with, and this flows from what she did as governor of South Carolina. You know, they had a bill to try to say that men shouldn't go into girls' bathrooms, and she killed that bill, and she bragged bragged that she killed that bill. Even to this day, she bragged that. I don't think men should be going into little girls' bathrooms. I think it's wrong, and I think we have every right to protect them from that.
First of all, Ron has continued to lie because he's losing. First of all, I will say that when I was governor, 10 years ago, when the bathroom situation came up, we had maybe a handful of kids that were dealing with an issue. And I said, we don't need to bring government into this, but boys go into boys' bathrooms, girls go into girls' bathrooms, and if anyone else has an issue, they use a private bathroom. Now, 10 years later, we see that this issue has exploded. And this shows how hypocritical Ron continues to be. When he was running for governor and they asked him about that, he said he didn't think bathroom bills were a good use of his time. You can go look that up.
I signed a bathroom bill in Florida, so
But
that's obviously not true.
The idea that you would say that I was against
that.
You
didn't. You killed it. I signed it. I stood up for little girls. You didn't do it.
I mean, for this one, I left a lot of Vivek's out because I already did Vivek's video. When it comes to these three, I think Ron DeSantis won. I think Nikki Haley's coming in second, and then Chris Christie fell off. Probably fell out. If he did drop out of the race, he probably dropped out because, like, once you make the statements about parents have the ability to abuse their children, then you kind of like lose us. Like, one thing that the Republicans are known for is for the children, that meme. So, like, yeah, no, I don't think so. There's one thing to say something because maybe you're not aware or you don't have enough knowledge at the time when you said it, and there's another thing, your action. So if Ron DeSantis did indeed say that, probably because he wasn't aware how serious the problem was at the moment, but he did still implement policies to protect children, then you really don't have an argument, Nikki. And she said she didn't kill the bill, but she literally admitted to killing the bill. She said, yeah, there was a bill in place. We decided the government should not be involved in this, and we'll just put a policy or state that girls go in girls' bathroom, boys go in boys' bathroom. She killed the bill. She literally said it herself. She killed the bill because she didn't think the government should be involved. And a lot of times I agree. I even agree with Chris Christie that it's a slippery slope to let the government be involved in so much in our personal lives. However, when it comes to protecting children, like actually protecting them, not, oh, my daddy mispronounced me, or I was gendered at birth, or whatever, like these weird things that the left try to say is child abuse, but like actual abuse and neglect of children, I think that should always be the number one thing that we should always, as human beings, as Americans, be focused on. Anywho, let me know what you guys think of this debate. Who do you think won between these three, leaving Vivek out of it? Because again, we've been showing lots of attention and love to Vivek. If you'd like me to follow any particular candidates more because you think you like them more and you want to see more of them, let me know in the comments section below. Again, let me know what you think of everything they said, what I said. If you agree or disagree in the comments section below, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. You can donate, keep you on this platform, and you guys have an amazing, beautiful day. Bye.